Hi everyone, my name is Kim, and for today's video, I will be talking about getting started with Tensorflow.js. So in this video, I will be covering an introduction, a body, a demo, and also I will be talking about my challenges and learnings. So let's start with introduction. So hi, my name is Kim, and I grew up in the Philippines. Since my parents were both in Japan, my grandparents took care of me. And since they're grandparents, they did not allow me to go play outside with friends. So I would often stay at home and play with my Game Boy. So I would play Game Boy every day, then PlayStations. And then at 7 years old, I started playing with computers. And that's when my interest in tech grew. As I was getting older and started with my first job, I started collecting gadgets as well. And 2 years ago, I bought my first Google Home out of curiosity, and I was hooked. So, what is Google Home anyway? Google Home is a device that enables user to speak commands to interact with services through Google Assistant. So, for example, if you say, "Hey Google, turn on all the lights," or "Hey Google, play the song for me," it would do that, which is freaking awesome. But wait a minute, how does it understand me? How does it play the music that I want? How is it able to read ingredients for me? How does it know my morning routine? So it was a completely new realm for me. So I did some researching. Turns out, Google Assistant is artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence refers to systems or machine that mimic human intelligence to perform tasks. And they can also improve themselves based on the information they collect. So before we move on, let's clear the air and take a look at the difference between artificial intelligence and machine learning, since these two terms are often used interchangeably. So artificial intelligence solves tasks that require human intelligence, while machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. ML solves specific tasks by learning from data and making predictions. This means that machine learning is artificial intelligence, but not all artificial intelligence is machine learning. Next, let's talk about artificial intelligence impact to the world. So first we have transportation. So we have self-driving cars like Tesla. And for healthcare, we have software that lets us diagnose diseases more quickly and more accurately. We also have media, so we use AI to strengthen the predictive capabilities of media companies. So we also have education. So it is expected that AI bots will take over an increasing range of educational related activities. And this includes reminding students to submit their homework and also accessing it. And finally, we have customer service. So you may already have experience chatting with an AI chatbot, like for example, in Rakuten. So ever since artificial intelligence and machine learning was invented, the face of technology was never the same. The speed of development in tech has skyrocketed, which has some benefits and also a lot of dangers. So let's talk about some dangers of artificial intelligence. So I got this from a TED Talk on YouTube, but he said that some people who work in artificial intelligence believe that AI is 1,000 times smarter, faster, and learning more than we are. So artificial intelligence is a software that writes itself. It updates and writes itself at speeds that we hardly comprehend. It develops its own way of thinking, which is terrifying if you think about that. So let's take a look at some examples of the dangers of AI. So first, we have artificial intelligence becoming so smart, they cannot be destroyed or killed once they have been created. We also have robots taking over our jobs and increasing unemployment rates. So we are currently seeing this happening right now in the present. We also have AI getting to the wrong hands. So I remember an interview with Elon Musk, and he said that if that AI involves like nuclear weapons or things that could start a war, if that goes into the wrong hands, that would be pretty catastrophic, right? And last but not the least, we have robots taking over our planet. I don't know if that's possible, but I believe it can be with our current development speed. So, sounds interesting? Let's dive in. If you want to get into the world of artificial intelligence, it definitely will be a difficult to get started. So, you will face a lot of challenges. You will study a lot of things. You will lose sleep. And unfortunately, you might have to study math again. But if you are up to the challenge, I will be introducing to you a beginner friendly way to get started. And that is TensorFlow. So, what is TensorFlow anyway? TensorFlow is a free and open source software library for machine learning and artificial intelligence. It was created by Google and it was open sourced on 2015. It is a library for performing mathematical computations, but it is also famous for building deep neural networks that power some of the most impressive artificial intelligence in the world today. So, how does it work exactly? Let's talk about TensorFlow architecture. So, this is TensorFlow's architecture. It works in three parts. So, first is pre-processing the data. So, data collection process brings unstructured data. Hence, the process of pre-processing makes it structured. Next, we have building the model. So, we build the model for our data. And last, we have train and estimate the model. So, we use the data to train the model. And then we run the model on epochs to increase the accuracy and reduce the loss. Finally, we test the model with unknown data. But why is it called TensorFlow and what is a tensor? It is called TensorFlow because it takes in an input as a multidimensional array, also known as tensors. These tensors flow through a flowchart of operations that you constructed, and it comes out of the other end as an output. One example of this is Google users can experience faster and more refined search experience with AI. If the user types a keyword in the search bar, Google provides a recommendation about what the next word could be. So, why is this important and what benefits does it bring? Here are the top main uses cases for TensorFlow. So, first we have voice and sound recognition. So, these are mostly used in Internet of Things, automotive, and security. We also have voice search, which is mostly used in telecoms and handset manufacturers. And we have sentiment analysis in CRM. And lastly, we also have flaw detection in engine noises. So these are mostly used in automotive and aviation. Next, we have text-based applications. So we have sentiment analysis. We also have threat detection for social media and government. We also have fraud detection for insurance and finance. And we have language detection. And the most popular one would be Google Translate. And lastly, we have image recognition and voice detection. So we already have face recognition on our phones, and we also have image search and motion detection. So as you can see here, TensorFlow has a lot going on. Softwares and applications built with TensorFlow has been very useful in our current technology era. What's more important is that with the help of TensorFlow, artificial intelligence has been a total game changer for people with disabilities. Already we're witnessing this as PWDs expand their use of computers to hear, see, and reason with impressive accuracy. Softwares like these offer enormous potential by enabling people with vision, hearing, cognitive, learning, mobility disabilities, and mental health conditions to do more in three specific scenarios. So we have employment, modern life, and human connection. Aside from these benefits, TensorFlow makes it easy for beginners to get started with AI and in ML. So if you visit their site, you'll see that TensorFlow has some pre-trained models for most common use cases. So we have things like object detection, text toxicity detection, face detection, hand pose detection for sign languages, and we also have speech command recognition. With these models, you can easily get started on machine learning and artificial intelligence. Or you also have the option to insert it into your existing project. So for today, I will be giving a demo on how to get started by using the speech command recognition. And I decided to record my demo to give you the best performance for my project. Because of my accent, I think TensorFlow does not give me the most accurate responses. So let's watch the video. Hi everyone, so this is my project. It is a simple Tetris game. So as we can see here, we have a beautiful, clean, and simple user interface. And we also have things like score, rows cleared, level, and we have two buttons. So we have start game and we have use voice command. So the start game would start the game. And if we click on use voice command, it would then trigger our TensorFlow functions and it would start listening for commands through our microphone here. So without further ado, let's start our game. So let's click on start game. And yeah, so as you can see, the Tetramino will start falling off. And we can control this using our arrow keys. So let's try clearing up a few rows. Yeah, so if we click on the up arrow key, it will rotate. And if we click on left, right, it would go left and right. And we also have an option to speed up the fall process. So we can just click on down arrow key. So like that. Awesome. Oh, this is perfect. Okay. Yeah, so as we can see here, we already have a score and we already have one row cleared. That's cool. So let's try that again. Let's put this here. Okay, cool. So let's start using our voice command. So let's click this. Let's say left, 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 rotate. Awesome. Let's try that again. Let's say right, right, rotate, left, drop, drop. Okay, cool. Let's try that again. Let's say left, rotate, 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 left, drop, right, 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 rotate, rotate, right, drop. And perfect. So as we can see here, we can control it both by arrow keys and by voice. So this ends my demo. Let's go back to our slides. Thank you for watching that. And let's go back to our slides. And yeah, so for this demo, I created a simple game of Tetris. So why did I choose this game? First of all, my grandmother loves this game. It's her favorite game. And ever since I was a kid, I would often catch her playing with her own Game Boy in Tetris. And sometimes she would even hide from us because she had been playing too much. And my grandmother is now at her 80s, and she's not as active with playing Tetris as she was before because she gets more tired now. So for this project, I chose to recreate her favorite game, add speech command, so she can play Tetris as much as she wants without tiring her hands. The next reason would be it's a simple game with basic rules and movements. So we have left, right, down, rotate, and that would be easy to get started on. And yeah, adding voice command would be easy because we are just tackling 4 directions. So here's my game plan. First is to plan on what game I would create. And then I created the game, I designed the game, and lastly, I inserted the voice commands. So let's take a look at the code snippets. So first of all, we need to install 2 dependencies from TensorFlow. One is TensorFlow itself, and the other one would be the speech command model. Next, let's create some states for our speech command. And I'll explain each one later on, but here we have model, labels, and action. I trained my model using Google's Teachable Machine software. So here, I just pasted the URL of my model here in line 36. And for TensorFlow speech command, we have 2 functions. So first we have load model. Load model loads the model that we have from TensorFlow. So here we are just getting our own model and passing it as parameters to speech.create, which creates an instance of the speech command recognizer. So here in line 42 to line 47, if, for example, we're just passing in browser underscore FFT and no custom model, then it will load TensorFlow's default model, which consists of 20 basic words, including numbers and directions. So once we ensure that the model is loaded, we then set recognizer to our model state and recognizer.word labels to our label state. This word label is just an array of all of our commands. So for this project, it's an array which consists of down, left, right, and rotate. Then we'd want this to be called at render. So we are invoking this function inside a use effect. Our next function is recognize command. So this command makes our model listen to our microphone. It then produces an object, for here we have result, and we have a thing called scores. So this scores is an object of the accuracy scores for each command. Then we'd want to pass that to our argmax function here in line 60, so that we would then get the word with the highest accuracy. And in line 74 to 76, these are just additional parameters, but the most important one for this is probability threshold. So probability threshold controls how often the model fires. For this one, it means that the model will fire whenever it is more than 75% confident that it hears the word. And since we have assigned the command to our action state here in line 72, it will then trigger our use effect, which invokes our move by voice function. Awesome. So let's move to challenges. Here are some of my challenges. First is how to get started. Why is it not accurate and how do I make it better? So initially, I used vanilla JavaScript and HTML, but then I realized I needed to set up a module bundler. So to avoid complications, I rewrote the entire thing using React.js. Next would be, why is it not accurate? So initially, I used a pre-written model that contains up, down, left, and right. But whenever I say left, it also hears up, which is weird. So in order to resolve that, I trained and created my own library that contained left, right, rotate, and drop, and also background noise. And lastly, how do I make it better? So currently, you have to say the command each time you want to move one cell. In the future, I would like the left and right command to make the tetramino move continuously until I say stop. And that's it for my presentation. Please try my project. You can scan the QR code above. And if you have any questions, please feel free to comment down below or contact me by email. Thank you and have a great day.